Happy Thursday. Looking at the Salesforce Tower in downtown Indianapolis. If your commute takes you into downtown Indy, here's what you'll be driving into. Cloudier skies, or I should say gloomy skies to start. Although this morning is going to be pretty clear for you. It is 6 o'clock. Happy Monday to you. It looked nice December feel. We've got a beautiful Christmas tree there out of New York. We don't have that view quite for us this morning, but we thought we'd try to get you in the Christmas spirit because the Christmas cold temperatures are definitely with us this morning.
It is, and here we are just 2 weeks out from Christmas. So will the weather start looking a little more Christmassy? Not during your morning drive right now, but the afternoon and evening drive, probably, Matt, right?
Yeah, not the biggest winter storm, by the way, we've had, but a good few inches will be on the way. What if I told you Christmas week may be warm while this whole December?
Gee, really?
But that's flip-flop,
I'd say, of
right?
course it is.
Of course, that's Indiana for you. Hey, we may not have that tree like at Rockefeller, but we have Monument Circle and we have Chris Kendall-Mart. You're looking live over downtown Carmel there. See cloudy skies, a couple flurries out there this morning. It's cold, but mainly quiet across central Indiana. This morning here in downtown, we've got temperatures that have been hovering in the upper 20s with a few flurries. We're actually getting them through a report there at the airport right now with a little bit of a west wind too, slight wind chill. Temperatures are in the 20s and a few low 30s. Definitely feels more like the 20s and sometimes even feels like the teens. Feels like it's 19 in Richmond, feels like it's 18 in Kokomo and right here in the city. So bundle up, it's cold, but it's about to get a lot colder moving forward. This morning, we have a few flurries out there. They're not too impactful, but you'll probably see a couple in your headlight beam as you're headed to work and school this morning. Decent little round, though, coming out of Bargersville and the Greenwood. Franklin, we've got some snow showers for us, and Whiteland, too. They're not really impactful. They're not adding anything to the roads, but you may see a couple just stick to a railing or maybe a couple blades of grass. But Brownsburg and Avon, even up north towards Lebanon, south of Bloomington, we have a couple light snow showers. So in and around the Indianapolis area, a few snow flurries. We've had some throughout the overnight. Some of us even picked up a fresh dusting. I'll show you that in just a moment. But our big focus will be really three different things: cold, cold, and snow. We've got two different cold fronts that are on the way, each one with its snow chances. 2 to 5 inches coming in tonight, maybe another 2 to 5 inches on Saturday, and then we're talking about temperatures below zero coming up at points this weekend. Most of the daylight hours and throughout the school day will be fine today. It'll be cold, but cloudy, but we'll be waiting for that snow. Coming up, I'm going to show you how much we're expecting here shortly. I do want to touch on traffic this morning. Road sensors are mainly dry. Now, we have had a couple little snow patches here and there. They've been minor and mainly in the shoulder once you get outside of Indianapolis. This is what it looks like in Indy, dry as a bone. A couple flurries, but they're not impacting the road really. You get farther east and kind of north of Indianapolis. This is a live look in Richmond where we have places that have picked up a fresh dusting. I mean, it's not a lot. If you look closely, you can see that fresh dusting in the grassy areas. Most of the roads are fine. Julia?
All right, Matt, thank you. In just a few hours, state senators will vote on a bill to redraw Indiana's congressional maps.
It's been a months-long battle that now comes down to this, and many are still unsure if it'll actually pass. Anna Chalker is live this morning with what we can expect out of that vote today. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Even though we aren't really sure what way this bill is going to go, we know that this is going to be a tight vote this afternoon, and these senators are going to have a lot of pressure on them both locally and nationally. So yesterday they held a short second reading where Democrats introduced 3 amendments, but they were all defeated. And throughout the week, the senators have been firm on their decision on the bill. We still have not heard from many, but the ones we have told us their minds are not changing. Majority Whip Senator Mike Kreider says it's his job to convince senators to vote one way or the other, but he says there have been no talks like that during this session.
Senator Bray has been pretty much allowing each legislator to come to their own conclusion. And I think he told you guys earlier this week that we'll all find out together. And I think that's really the reality.
And we will all find out this afternoon. The Senate will meet on House Bill 1032 at 1:30. We also know there's a rally scheduled for then. That's hosted by Women for Change Indiana. Now, for some Republicans, they're still trying to get other senators to join them on the yes side of this vote. So coming up, you'll hear from Mike Young and what he said to the senators at yesterday's reading and what he wants to be done before this is heading through more of the process to get this to be a signed law.
All right, still so much to get through, and even if that vote happens today. Thanks so much, Anna.
Also at the State House, a state senator's Immigration Enforcement Act is moving on to the full Senate. This is State Senator Liz Brown's bill that passed out of committee after testimony and amendments earlier this week. And a large part of this bill focuses on cracking down on businesses that hire undocumented immigrants, including thousands of dollars in fines. It also sets standards for jails to follow ICE detainer requests and would require the FSSA provide reports on the number of undocumented immigrants that are enrolled in social service programs.
Well, we are hearing this morning from the Department of Homeland Security after dozens of people were turned away from a naturalization ceremony in Indy. We told you about this earlier this week, that it actually, we now know, left 38 people who were expecting to become U.S. citizens this week turned away and wondering what's next. Well, the Department of Homeland Security shared a statement saying it's paused naturalization decisions for some people while it vets and screens them to the maximum degree. The statement goes on to say, quote, "The pause will allow for a comprehensive examination of all pending benefit requests for aliens from designated high-risk countries."
This morning, we're learning more about a 19-year-old college student that was shot and killed at Kentucky State University.
We now know the 19-year-old is an Indianapolis native and fulfilling a family dream of going off to college. Marina Silva is in studio with reaction on how this mom and family is grieving just an unimaginable tragedy.
Well, this is 19-year-old Dejan Fox Jr. He was a sophomore at Kentucky State University, which is his dream school. He was killed Tuesday, just days after his mom dropped him back off to finish the rest of the semester. The shooting happened inside a campus dorm. Police say the suspect you see on your screen, Jacob Bard, is now charged. He's an Indiana native and the parent of another student at the university. Another student is still fighting for his life this morning in critical condition. Dejan's mother says he was the first in his family to go straight to college after high school, a proud Victory Prep graduate from right here in Indianapolis. His family tells us he was a happy-go-lucky soul, still a kid at heart, someone whose joy filled every room he walked into.
Really goofy, the life of the party. All he do is make people laugh. Like, he's so harmless. Like, he's just a funny dude. All he do is make people laugh. I don't know too many people who dislike him. How could you dislike him?
Just yesterday afternoon, a vigil was held at the university to honor Dejan. The campus is shut down for the rest of the week. The semester was supposed to end tomorrow. And it's a tragedy that this mom sent her son off to college. She wanted him to get out of Indianapolis. And then this tragedy happened. And coming up at 6:30, she's going to talk about that call that she got, that something had happened, and now her push for answers.
But we know somebody's in custody for this shooting, correct?
Yes, Bard is in custody. We do know that he, again, is an Indiana native. He also has a student at the university. But as far as the relation between everybody, that hasn't come out yet.
Okay, thank you.
Well, your time is 6:08. This morning, Google leaders are promising to be good neighbors as they prepare to break ground for a data center in Morgan County.
So it's a 550-acre development and will be built in Monrovia. And now people with the Google company saying that they will pay for all of the electricity usage and any new grid infrastructure. They also say they will not use any on-site groundwater. They plan to report water usage also in an annual environmental report. Morgan County officials call the project the next generation of economic stability, but some neighbors really just aren't fully convinced yet. So they are suing to stop the project, claiming they don't have enough information. Construction is set to start in February. Google is getting a 50% abatement on property taxes for 10 years on this data center building.
In exchange, the company will give $1 million to Monroe Gregg schools, also Churches in Mission Food Bank, and the Community Foundation of Morgan County.
Well, another data center is being proposed. This time, it's on the northwest side of Indianapolis in Pike Township.
American Tower Corporation is the group that's making plans for a $20,000 square foot facility that would be on 70th and Township Line Road. And it's getting some pushback from those of you that live in the area. Last night, community members showed up to get some answers from the company's attorneys, but the representatives postponed their appearance until January 14th.
So you can see here, the people showed up, but none of those representatives. So this is before the zoning hearing. Several of those in attendance say the attorney's absence says a lot to them. So they worry this really isn't enough time for the community to understand this project and express their concerns. So the next zoning public meeting is January 15th, unless there is some kind of continuance. Now, we did reach out to American Tower for comment, but have not yet heard back. This morning, 2 people are recovering after being hit by cars in 2 separate crashes. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday morning.
They were back to back. They happened within an hour and within a mile of each other, so very close. One on Rockville Road near South Lyndhurst Drive around 7:15 yesterday morning. IMPD says that a pickup truck hit someone, but you're looking at video from that first scene where police say that someone else was hit about a mile away on West Washington Street near Coolidge Street. At last check, we heard that IU van or truck that you saw or shuttle was involved in that crash that hit a man there. And this comes just a week after Indianapolis Vision Zero Task Force formally adopted their action plan to address some road safety concerns.
Safe Streets Indy says both crash locations are actually hot spots for these exact incidents. They say there are 34 people and bicyclists, so walkers and bicyclist deaths in 2025 so far this year. Morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Julia. We're off to a fairly dry start. There are a couple flurries out there, but you may have noticed on your phone, winter weather advisories posted for many of us as a good 2 to 4 inches will be on the way. Who could possibly see 5 or 6? We'll talk about it.
All right, and the tension between the U.S. and Venezuela is intensifying. This after the U.S. seized an oil tanker. Ahead, how the Venezuelan government is responding.